Hello, I'm Dara, Briain. Welcome to my School of Hard Sums. We're here to examine one big question, which is, when faced with all those practical problems of everyday life, what's the best approach? Do you go about things methodically in a rational way, or do you just steam in regardless and hope for the best?
This show is a battle of brain versus brawn, and tonight I shall be playing the role of brain. Each week, my grey matter is pitched against the brute force of my two comic guests, as we tackle three increasingly fiendish problems that we've never seen before. Oxford professor Marcus S02E06 is here to set the questions and decide whose approach is the best. And to keep us all on our toes, there's a bunch of brainy math students having a crack as well. But first, let's meet my competition for tonight. Alex Horn and Josie Long.
Hello, you two. Josie, are you a problem solver?
Yeah, I really like maths puzzles.
Oh dear.
But I also
We've
really
actually
like...
decided to give you the wrong end of this, have we?
But I also really like just going for things. Like, what I like about being a comedian is you don't really rehearse very much. You just get up and...
Yes, it is. It is a kind of more instinctive trait at times.
Yeah,
I'm
quite impatient.
If we actually did prepare the stuff, we'd be more successful. Is that what we're saying here?
I think if we prepared, we'd be too good. It would be...
That's a genuine danger.
I think failing in comedy really helps. I fail a lot.
Yeah,
I feel so much better because of it.
Yeah, failure is really important. You have to take risks in order to get to new places. So I think 99% of the mathematical jokes I try and tell just don't succeed. So,
but the actual mathematics, though, how often? What's the failure?
That's the beauty of mathematics, though. When you get it right, you know you've got it right. So I think, unlike any other subject, you know, what the ancient Greeks did 2,000 years ago is true today as it was 2000. I doubt their jokes are as funny today if you told them.
They actually, like us, they used to tease their neighbouring country that was smaller and they looked slightly similar, but they used to tease them in the same way as the Brits tease the Irish, and the Irish tease the town within Ireland, and that town teases... Yeah. That's gone on for
right, okay.
Yeah. There are definitely parallels.
Oh, there are jokes like, you know, there was an ancient Greek, an ancient Roman, and an ancient...
There are, and if I had an example now, it would make such a lovely moment.
He was building up to a joke that wasn't there.
No, sorry about that.
Do we have a theme for this show?
Yes, it's maths of the end of the world.
Excellent.
Yeah. So the first question, you're working in a supermarket and your manager is Mayan. It's the 20th of December 2012 and he believes the world is going to end tomorrow and he wants to try and clear all of his stock before the end of the world. So he's going to get you to do a bit of stacking. That's what the problem's about. I've got some things for you to stack over on the table.
Right.
So here we go. We've got tins of beans, and they're at one end of the supermarket, and the manager wants you to get them to the other end of the supermarket. The rule is that you can only lift one tin of beans at a time. You can't put the large tin of beans on top of the small one. So the challenge is, what is the smallest number of moves you need in order to get the 4 tins from one end of the supermarket to the other?
Can I just say, if it really is the last day on Earth, this is really bad prioritising. It's like the priorities are all wrong.
So we need to shift this stack of beans from the left-hand display to the right. We can't stack larger tins on smaller ones as that's a health and safety risk. How many times do we have to move the tins?
I used to work in a supermarket. I was deputy head of dairy.
Wow.
And there was 2 of us in the department, but I still was deputy head, even though just me and the head, that was it. But yeah.
There's no way that you should have been deputy head of dairy because just 10 minutes ago you disclosed to me that your favourite cheese is Primula.
Yeah, but that's not sort
of... That's not even a cheese.
No, it's not.
Have a go. Pick up the first one.
So they're already at this guy?
Yeah, so they're already at that end.
To be here. Yeah.
And you get... there you go. So
you need to do that before you can do that.
Absolutely. So that's 2 moves.
That feels like the first move that you should do.
It's a good first move.
Can we put him on there?
Yes, absolutely, because he's tiny. 3.
Then get that one over there.
4.
Is that useful?
Well, then that puts
that's fine.
there.
5.
6. Oh, and then you could put that
7.
back there,
8.
Oh, look at that. Oh, sorry.
Now we've got that
9.
one at the top.
Big boy.
10.
Very good.
Exactly.
11.
Yeah.
12. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
Wow.
Didn't feel that dynamic, but we did it.
But do you think that was the most efficient
Well,
way?
I think there's one point where they moved a tin unnecessarily from there to there. I think there was one bit in the middle where you just basically did a form of housekeeping. I think it could be done in fewer because if the destination is there, but it would be a similar kind of thing. I'm trying to work out the general rule, though.
The general rule. So if I added another tin to the lot, how many would that take?
So is it like if there were only 2,
yes,
there'd be a rule for 2?
Oh, I think
and then it would grow like...
There we go.
Oh,
that's proper.
Yeah,
that's
probably here's the proper mathematics. Oh, my
you.
gosh.
They're really impressed.
Yeah, you know, we are, actually.
I did AS level maths as a hobby for
No, that's
about
not
a year.
a hobby. Okay.
You learned Latin, didn't you?
Yeah.
As a hobby.
As a hobby.
Yeah,
Just
so while you're judging people.
Yeah, so let's start with 1. How many does it take to do 1?
1.
Yeah, very
Oh,
good.
is it like squares?
Let's see.
That's the only maths thing that I know.
Well,
like-
squares is nice.
I like the fact that I'm going to write squares, but I'm going to write squares like you said it, which was squares with 2 exclamation marks.
Thank you.
How many did we say? How many moves for 2? 3 moves for 2.
3,
right.
okay.
How many for 3?
Would it be something like 9? Would it be 9?
Give it a go.
You have to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't have to go
There.
there. This is
1, 2, 3,
teamwork. This is
4,
good, isn't it?
5,
Yep.
6,
I don't want to do it.
7.
Oh, is it cubed minus
tins.
something? No.
You're on fire, Jez.
Right,
I don't know, I only know squared
Was
and
it the
cubed.
gap between them is 2 and then 4?
Wow.
So maybe
That sounded good.
Yeah, it was good, yeah.
Yeah.
How many did we say for 4?
Well,
got
I think it was a bit of an
17.
inefficient move.
was,
So
yeah.
actually, the most efficient is 15. Yeah. So you did it in 17. I think you did a little.
So 2, 4, then 8.
So that's 16 minus 1. 4 and 16 are related to each other.
So what did you say? This is 60
4,
minus 1?
Yeah.
This is...
8 minus 1.
8 minus 1.
That's...
Yeah. So we reckon 31 for the next
Oh,
one.
so that's all 2s. Look, that's 2, 2
Yeah.
squared, 2, 3, 2, 4.
What about 64?
Oh, it's so exciting.
It's a 64, isn't it?
Yeah.
OK. If there's 64 tins, right, how many moves?
Just don't do it. It's the end of the world.
What's 4 to 16? What is it?
Oh, 2 to the power of 4?
Yeah. So all you do is 2 to the power of the number of tins.
Oh, I see. So 2 to the power of 64 minus 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
When solving this problem, your goal is always to shift the bottom tin from the far left to the far right and stack the other tins on top of it. So with our 4-tin tower, we needed to build a tower of 3 in the middle to get the bottom tin out. To do this, you need to build a tower of 2 on the right. To do this, your first move is to put down the top tin in the middle. 4 tins, 15 steps. For any even number of tins, always start in the middle. For any odd number of tins, the first move is to put the top tin on the right. 5 tins, 31 steps. You can calculate the number of moves for any number n of tins by using the formula 2 to the power of n minus 1. For example, with 4 tins, 2 to the power of 4 is 16, minus 1 is 15 moves.
In fact, this is a game that was invented by a mathematician called Edward Lucas.
Really?
Yeah. And
I thought this was like an old Vietnamese game.
no, it dates back to
generations.
late 19th century France. He came up with this myth about monks who had to transfer 64 rings from one end to the other, and it was said that once they had achieved this, the end of the world would take place.
Wow.
So this was our kind of connecting theme
Yes.
here. But how long would it take you? If you moved a tin per second, if you had 64 of them, how long would it take you to do 2 to the power 64 minus 1?
Do we have like a drinks break?
No.
It's 585 billion years, which is longer than many scientists estimate the universe is actually going to last for. So
did they do it, the
so I think
monks?
it was pretty safe.
They're still doing it.
Still doing it out there in Hanoi.
Hanoi,
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's called the Towers of Hanoi, is the actual more common name for them. Hence the cleverly
Hanoi baked beans. Very good. So I think, well, you did manage to achieve your powers of 2, I think, by spotting the pattern. So I think I'll actually give this round to Alex and Josie. So brawn, actually, I'm not sure it's much brawn going on here. I think there's too much brains on this side. So.
What's the next question?
The next question is about an end-of-the-world lottery. It's a comet heading towards Earth. But Richard Branson has got a spaceship which is going to take some lucky people, and we're going to run a lottery to see whether you can get a pair of tickets on this spaceship. So the way the lottery works is you can choose 3 numbers from 1 to 14 on that ticket. And if any of your tickets match 2 of the numbers that have come out of the lottery, then you get to go on the spaceship. And the question is, how many lottery tickets do you need to buy in order to guarantee that one of those tickets will have 2 numbers which match 2 of the numbers which come out of our lottery machine?
The world is ending and there's a lottery to win a ticket to escape the planet. You must have 2 winning numbers out of 3 on your ticket to win a pair of seats on the ship. There are 14 balls in the machine. What's the minimum number of ticket purchases to guarantee a win?
Richard Branson is a sick man. He's a sick man.
If you're saying that, you can get the ticket.
Yeah, but there'll only be Virgin Cola on board, which will be disappointing and frustrating for the whole journey.
Yeah. But there's no bunch. Those burgers that they do on the train, they're like a kind of a guilty pleasure. They're really the ones of differing heat, but like from the meat and the cheese and
Is the cheese Primula?
I know for a fact that the lottery, the normal lottery,
yeah,
is really bad odds.
A 1 in a 14 million chance. Yeah, and in fact, if you bought a lottery ticket every week, when would you have to start to give yourself any chance?
3000 BC.
I think if the first thought that first Homo sapien had was, oh, I must go and buy a lottery ticket, by now he might have won.
In fact, you may have done the walk out of Africa to get to a news agency to buy the ticket to start the habit going.
But remember, you've only got to match 2. You don't have to match them all.
You only have to match
there'll be 3 numbers coming out of there. You just got to make sure that 2 of yours.
Thousands rather than millions.
I reckon it'd still be hundreds of thousands, wouldn't it?
You're going to buy hundreds of thousands to guarantee that you win this.
Is that stupid?
Can we work out the odds of 1 ticket?
That's an interesting idea, so yes.
Look, I've chosen 1, 6 and 11.
No, well, don't choose 11. It won't be 11.
So you want to say the odds are like 3 and 14, but they're definitely not, because that's not how odds work.
No, and also we only want
like
2 of them to come out.
Right.
Yeah. You could have 1 and 6 and anything else, or 6 and 11 and anything else,
or 11 and
1 and 11 and anything else. You have to work out how many different possibilities there are for the 3 balls that came out of there. So the first ball, as you said, there's 14 different possibilities.
Let's try it.
So that's out. What are we on yet? Is it 6? Oh, it's 9.
Yeah, I don't think a sample of 1 is going to give you much of a feel for probability.
I'm disappointed, though.
Oh, but then the odds get better, don't they? Because there's only 13 in there, then. That's right, isn't it?
Can I write something on the back?
Oh, yeah, you can screw. In fact, if you want, we can give you a pad of paper.
Oh, is it like 14 times 13 times 12 times 11 times 10 times 9? Like
factorials are coming out of your mouth.
Is that what that was?
Yeah, she just went exclamation mark.
They've never come out of my mouth.
Oh, yeah, I tried to write a joke about factorials, but I couldn't do it. What is the noisiest form of maths? Factorials, because they're always shouting. An exclamation mark denotes shouting. It doesn't really work.
Oh, I see. But it would work in a, if you told it to our students, they would laugh hilariously at that, because they get it immediately.
Would they? I've written down 14, 13 and 12.
Yeah, so that's the number. Because only 3 balls coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you divide that by 6, you'll have the number of possibilities.
Divide the total by 6?
Yeah, so multiply those together, because that's the total number.
Multiply them together.
I can do that.
OK, everyone is still writing here. They're all writing, I'm writing, they're scribbling furiously. We're all tussling with this one. So we're going to take a break, and then we'll come back afterwards with the answer for this one, and we'll also have the big problem, and we'll find out exactly why Alex and Josie have been out in public doing this.
You boy. Please, will you put your hat on now?
Welcome back to School of Hard Sums, the programme that pits me using brains, apparently, against my fellow comics using brawn. That's not really the way it's working out in this one. Alex Hall and Josie Long are going through as much paper as I am. Before the break, we're tackling a problem that Marcus, the Soto, had set us, and we have our panel of maths students here all debating furiously the exact number of tickets to use.
So we're looking at how to guarantee a lottery win. There are 14 balls in the machine, and you can pick 3 on a ticket. You only need 2 matching numbers to win. In this case, a win will help you escape from planet Earth, which is doomed, by the way.
What's your intuition saying? How many do you think you're going to need? Because actually, you've worked out how many possibilities there are that are going to come out of there.
4.
So you could buy 364 tickets and cover all the possibilities.
Well, we don't need 3, we need 2, don't we?
Yeah, exactly. So
you
need fewer, because if you think, how many pairs of numbers are there in the 3 that come out?
3.
There are 3, exactly. So there are 3 pairs.
Oh, so it's not very many, is it? So our 43,000.
Yeah, I think they're way over there. You might go over and see if Dara needs any.
He nearly gave us the answer.
Yeah, he did. What's 2/3?
Find another way of going at it.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, every ticket you buy has 3 pairs. You're buying to buy tickets so you can cover all the possible pairs that might emerge.
Yeah.
Right. How many pairs can possibly emerge from a draw of 14?
Ah, very good.
Yeah. 91 pairs can possibly emerge from a draw of 14.
Yeah.
How do you cover 91 possible pairs by buying tickets in 3?
But if you choose 3 numbers out of 14, you're guaranteed that the pair that will come out of the lottery will be either in the numbers from 1 to 7 or 8 to 14. So actually, you've only got to cover the pairs that come out between 1 and 7 and 8 to 14. How many pairs are there in the numbers from 1 to 7?
From 1 to 7, it's...
Because, there you go, that will cut it down.
21.
Yeah.
Yes!
Well, there's an aha moment over there.
Yeah. No, we're just playing the lottery.
So you just won and it was all...
But we did work it out. And also, I've drawn a picture of Richard Branson saying, "Hey, gang, have a cola." So it's pretty useful.
Yeah, that's...
Can we buy 14 tickets?
Go on, then.
Just 'cause that's a nice...
Yeah,
Yeah,
buy
that sounds
14
like a good
tickets.
idea.
Might be that, mightn't it?
Yeah.
We should vary our numbers.
Yeah, 4, 5 and 8.
We shouldn't do 14 the same.
I seem to be partial to 7s.
OK, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 14.
Yeah.
OK, well, let's give it a go. Do you want to... OK, what's your first number?
6.
6.
Bingo!
Yeah, pop them up here. All right, stop.
What's that?
2.
OK, 2.
Oh, yeah, you've won.
This guy's in the holding.
That's already won.
You're already through. You've got
Straight
the
away.
tickets. Straight
Done.
out. Oh, my gosh.
In your face, Branson. 2 tickets.
Can we see? Should we keep going anyway?
Let's do it. Just there we go.
What's that?
That's a...
A 1. That's done.
1. So, oh, my gosh.
And that's done.
Yeah.
Wow, look, you can bring your wife, your
Bring my
We get 6
boyfriend.
of them.
Boyfriend.
I've got 2 children.
OK, hang on. We've got 6
So
tickets.
we'll lose a
You've got
kid,
2
lose a kid?
children. No, 4 and 2. Perfectly fine.
Boyfriend not...
No,
No,
it's
I've got
gonna
but my
come.
wife. I've got
Yeah, why? You've got 2 children.
3 children.
Oh, 3.
3
Yeah,
children.
but one's a spare. Come on. Look, Richard Branson is one man. There are 6 of us. Crack him out.
Yeah.
For the
Crack
good
him out.
of the nation.
I think I'm going to
You're
call
ahead of
time
me
on this. So, Dara, how are you doing over there?
I had all sorts of clever ideas. Every ticket has 3 pairs. How many pairs are there in 14? There are 91 pairs, therefore 31 tickets. That's wrong. I know that's wrong, but it's not a bad guess. But what you then came and upturned my apple cart with the observation that if you draw an imaginary line down the start of the numbers, first half of the numbers, second half of the numbers, and if you draw 3 off it, the pair is either in the small half or the large half. 14.
Why is that the case?
OK, try any 3 numbers from out of 14. And find me a way that you get one but less than 7, one greater than 7, and another one doing something else.
Oh, OK. Oh, I see what you mean.
What you'd actually do is, this is quite clever, you buy enough tickets to cover off all the pairs on the lower part, and then you do that again for the upper part. So it's twice the number of tickets it takes to cover the lower part. Right. So how many tickets does it take to cover the lower part? That's the question.
Josie and Alex have said they think they can get away with 14.
Yes.
They've got 14 here,
Yeah.
which is actually 7 to cover all the numbers from 1 to 7, the
And
pairs.
7.
Yeah, so they think that you could cover all the bases.
Yes, they do.
I don't know how they got there. But you think you can't do, so I think your number is going to be more than 14.
Yes, I'm going for 18,
let's
20.
So
Yeah.
let me show you, there's a beautiful little geometric picture that you can draw which shows you why you can cover all of these pairs with 7 tickets.
Go on.
And it comes from an area of geometry, in fact, not combinatorics at all. So there's a beautiful thing called sort of finite projective geometry. So we're going to number these. This is 1, 2, 3, 4 in the middle, 5, 6, 7.
OK.
So each lottery ticket that you buy will correspond to a line in this geometry. So this is one lottery ticket.
Yeah.
This is another lottery ticket.
Oh, that's very clever.
This is another lottery ticket. This is another lottery ticket.
Oh, that's very good.
And where is the last lottery ticket?
There we go.
It's actually a circle which joins these 3. So there are 7 lines in this geometry. Every 2 numbers is on some line.
That's very nice.
So 7 tickets will guarantee that you'll cover all the pairs that will come out in the numbers from 1 to 7. You buy another 7 tickets to cover all the pairs that come up from 8 to 14.
That's very good.
So you actually can do this with 14 tickets. So this round goes to the brainy Brawn, frankly.
Yes.
So
Briain.
Alex and Joseph.
Well done. Very good.
Can I tell you how we actually got it? Because there are 14 numbers on it, so we wrote down 14. I think it's as easy as that. That's all it is.
Really? God, you cut through all this.
Yeah. It's just staring you in the face.
Yeah, so is the answer 7 or 14?
It's 14.
Right, OK. That's what we got.
OK, OK, we give you the points to the person who didn't know what answer they gave, and then the person who thought it was just the first number we started with.
It's sad, isn't it?
This is just,
I know.
It's an injustice.
If you only need 2 out of 3 numbers, then a winning ticket will definitely contain either 2 low numbers, 7 or below, or 2 high numbers, 8 and above. So if you buy tickets containing every pair of low numbers and every pair of high numbers, you're guaranteed a win. This useful shape is called a Fano plane. Number the 7 dots 1 to 7 and 8 to 14 and buy tickets that correspond to every straight line of 3 numbers and the circle in the middle.
Join us after the break where we'll tackle the show's big problem.
But before that, here's something to ponder over the break. A mad scientist is experimenting with bacteria that reproduces by dividing into 2 every minute. At 12 p.m, she puts a single bacterium into a container. At precisely 1 p.m, the container is full. At what time was the container half full? Before the break, I asked you, if a scientist puts a single bacterium into a container, it divides in 2 every minute. And by precisely 1 p.m, the container is full. So at what time was the container half full? Well, the answer is 12:59. In the final minute after that, the bacteria doubled and the half-full container became full.
Welcome back to a very, well, potentially controversial episode of School of Hard Sums. The programme that generally pits me using brains against my fellow comics using brawn. In this case, it's Alex Vaughan and Josie Long. And we have a battle to find out which method is best for solving problems. And I say controversial because so far brawn is winning by deviously using brain. Or giving the illusion of using brain, and then when you say, well done, you've won, they go, really, how? And that has been enormously irritating.
Exactly, yeah. I know.
So you're feeling quite smug now because you won.
Very smug, yeah.
This is what you do every time you come on the show.
Yeah.
You kill science.
Is it 2-0 with 1 to go?
I think it is.
Is it?
Yeah, but the 1 is very big, so it counts for a lot more.
Yeah.
Now.
What's the big problem this week?
You're a teacher, and it's your birthday tomorrow, and you're desperate to get the day off. If you could get the whole of your class to get chicken pox, you'll get the day off tomorrow. Wow. So there are 36 students laid out in a 6x6 grid. Each desk is 1 metre away in this grid. The way chicken pox gets spread in this problem is that if a pupil is within 1 metre of another pupil who has chicken pox, they start to be infected, but they need 2 people next to them to be truly infected with chicken pox. So what's the minimum number of students you need, and where are you going to place them in order that by the end of the day, all of 36 are infected?
Yeah. I have never had it and can never get it. I have the antibodies inside my system. I'm like,
why can you never
pox.
get it?
Well, I have the antibodies. It doesn't appear in me. I'm like I'm asymptomatic. I am in many ways like an X-Man for chickenpox.
And yet you haven't donated your body to science.
No, I'm using it, and then maybe later I will hand over the microbes. Yeah. Anyway, you've gone and done this. You've gone and tested this thing out. You've sat within a metre of each other.
Had a good time.
Okay, great. I want to see how how you started the problem before I go off the start. I'm going to cog from you because you're really good at this, clearly. So I want to see how you started the problem. Let's see how they start.
All right then, Miss Long. Let's do this. Let's infect some bloody children. So we'll do anything.
Get a day off. None of this makes any sense, because if you want them all infected, who cares how many are infected? If we want them all infected,
we've got a limited supply of the virus.
Ah, like in 12 monkeys?
Yeah, exactly like that. So we've got enough to infect some of them.
OK, I'm totally on board. We can totally do this. Now, we wanted this guy to be infected, and the way I did that was to infect this person and this person, see?
Yep.
But once they're infected, he's also infected.
I'm keen to infect actual humans now.
OK.
Would that be all right, to at least have a look at them?
Yeah.
I'm keen on infecting Clive. It's just got that sort of face. What are the symptoms?
One arm will go, but I can't tell you which one.
OK.
And when that's off, you'll think, thank God it's over. No, it's not even started. Then the arm will revivify, come back to life.
And keep punching you in the face.
Punch you.
Yeah. It's a really awkward disease.
How are you feeling? You feeling quite normal at the minute?
Yeah. Cap on him?
Put the cap on him, yeah.
I'll just put a cap. This one. OK, so he's ill.
He's ill. So this guy...
So once we get him, then these two are...
These two are out of the picture.
I don't feel like doing anything.
Oh, he's out of the picture. So you are as good as dead.
So we know how to demonstrate that they're ill. Yeah. So that's good.
So that shows infection and illness. I think what we have to try and work out is there a way, strategically, to infect as many people as possible by infecting as few people as possible initially.
Sounds impossible, but a lot of fun.
Should we just go to the staff room?
Is there a staff room?
We could put that in there.
My staff. Was that a joke? Well, very good joke. Very good joke. The joke, just to clarify, the joke was we could put the staff in the staff room. And Josie thought that up on the spot.
On the spot.
On the spot. Off the cuff. Oh,
Very good. Top quality stuff. Yeah.
Thank
Top
you, very
quality
proud
material.
of myself.
Yeah, did you run out of dots quickly enough, by the way? Because you seem to be quite generous with the 4 dots.
If anything, I had loads left.
Yeah.
Could have got another class.
yeah.
Okay. No, it's not just the person beside you who can give you this. You need 2 people.
You need 2 people next to you to
Okay.
infect you. It's only the people sort of in the squares next to you, not diagonally, that will infect
Not diagonally,
you. Yeah,
okay,
that's right.
You teach a class of 36 children laid out in a square like so. If a child is sick, their illness can spread to anyone within a 1 metre radius, but 2 sick neighbours are required for the illness to be strong enough to actually infect another student. What is the minimum number of sick children required to infect the whole class? And where should you sit them so that everyone stays at home and you get the day off?
We can talk about the maths of infections.
Oh, at last.
Yeah, exactly. Each disease actually has its own number.
And is that the amount of the cells that you would need to get in order to get the disease?
It's sort of the transmission rate of the disease. If somebody's infected, how many people are they likely to infect? So these numbers help to tell you what proportion of the population you need to take the vaccine in order to have some chance of controlling it.
Is there a top trumps of diseases? Because that would be a marketing.
Yeah.
What a great idea. What do you think is the most infectious disease?
It'd need to be something that can be transmitted by the most possible ways, like by touch and by liquid
I
and by
see.
breathing and by coughing.
Yeah. And this one caused a lot of controversy, actually.
Is it swine flu?
No, not swine
I
flu.
went for sunburn.
Very infectious.
Yeah.
It was measles. Measles, so its coefficient of transmission is somewhere between 12 and 18.
So 1 person could infect 18 people?
Yeah, so maths is quite useful in working out what to do with these diseases.
Do you watch things like 12 Monkeys and go, like, this is improbable, too many people are being infected too quickly?
Absolutely, I get very angry at films that get all their maths wrong and things. But there was one, Contagion, actually, that was, I thought that, did you see that one?
I'm sorry, I have nothing mathematical to add, but just Contagion is great.
Good film.
Contagion's really, really good. It's really, really
it's
good.
really good.
Yeah, it's very, and it gives a proper...
I met the scientist who advised on that. And
Really?
He's actually the world expert on infectious diseases. So whenever... and it's interesting because he said he'd written this big report for the US government, this thick. Nobody read it. He said, how do I get through to the US government? He says, I know, I'll make a film. And then suddenly the US government woke up and said, oh my gosh, this is a real... So films are the way forward. So you've been looking at the maths of diseases, so the game of death, but there's actually something called the game of life.
What, you could be a winner at the Game of Life, that game?
Yeah.
What, as
No,
in you
that's-
spin the thing and then you know the Game of Life?
I know the board
it's
game.
Like, I'm earning 30 grand a year. I've spun the wheel. I've won money on the horses.
No, I'm talking about another game, which is a kind of mathematical game of life. So it's actually rules for how things come alive and die, and they're very simple rules, but actually give rise to quite interesting, complex behaviour. So this little cell is alive at the moment, but it only can stay alive if it's surrounded by enough people. If it's got 2 people next to it, or 3, then this one will stay alive. If a cell is surrounded by 3 or more, it will actually give birth in the next generation to a new alive cell. But it dies if it's lonely. So if there are 8 squares which are empty or just 1 that's full, then this one will die in the next generation. But it will also die if it's overpopulated. So if there are more than 3 things around it, so here we've got 4, it will also die because there's just not enough food. That's the rules for death in this game. Now, I've got a little program here that you can try out. So this was invented by a mathematician called John Conway. He set a challenge, could you find something which infinitely got bigger and bigger and bigger? So this shape here looks quite simple, just a square, but if you set that off with these rules, it does this.
That's beautiful. It's like a snowflake.
Wow.
Yeah. And it just keeps on going, getting bigger and bigger. This
Something
population...
slightly creepy about it, though, as well. Like, you imagine them being germs and just taking over the world.
That'd be
yeah.
a nice pattern to knit onto a jumper to attract a very specific type of mathematician.
Yeah, because they could...
They'd be like, oh, is that? And you'd be like, yes.
Wow, that's really fun.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? This is not related to this.
Yeah.
What's an oblong? What's an oblong? Have rounded... Because I had an argument yesterday with someone.
An oblong's just like a rectangle.
Yeah. So what's the point of an oblong?
It's just another word for rectangle.
Is that all it is?
Yeah.
Math slang, you go, oblong.
Oblong.
actually had a little think about it. What would be nice is to create loads of those ones that just span round and round and round.
Yeah, can you just do one of those round and round and round ones, just so we can see that?
I'm going to do you something which is called a glider.
Oh, yeah.
One of the challenges was, could you find anything which doesn't just die off?
Yeah.
So let's see what happens to the J.
Isn't that cute? That's incredible.
I know.
And now, oh, it's gone.
Well, it's gone off to infinity.
Okay.
So it's an infinite game. So
Can I come over and sit down beside you?
Not really. We're quite busy.
Well, if I sit more than 1 metre away from you.
Yeah.
Oh, you play Give Life. Oh, that's great, actually, yeah. Mimic, like, viruses or DNA or...
the amazing thing about this game is that any problem in mathematics you can encode as a question about whether this dies or not.
Yeah.
Oh, what are you doing?
I just did it at random that time.
But that's quite good.
That's amazing.
It's basically like watching a football match if you didn't understand football.
Yeah.
I'd like it if it just suddenly flashed up, help me.
What did you make?
You're going to eat that still life over there.
Do you know, as this image of us running screaming from the building while actual
did you
giant
make?
black and white blocks chase us through and we're going, what did you do, Josie? What did you do? What have you created? Well, I've been doing this. I want to see how you did. You're really good at this, clearly. So let's have a look and see how they did in solving the problem.
I like your hat.
Thank you, I like your hat.
It's flat, isn't it? Very flat.
It's useful.
So here we are.
Let's do 5 at random.
Okay.
You? Yeah, it's random, isn't it? It's random. OK, stop.
Okay, this one.
I'm left-handed.
Awful.
Hey!
That's 5, is it?
And now we can see that nobody else would be infected.
So it's not random.
It is not random.
Can I try my plan?
Yeah.
Yeah? If we could do alternate people, but in a sort of square, like an internal square.
Okay.
Like this, like start with that guy.
So then the problem is the outliers. I reckon we need another 4. Look, you put yours on in the back corner, please, and the back left-hand corner, please, and you put yours on. OK, so then we'll set off the infection. So if you can see anyone who's infected around you and you know that you're infected, please will you put your hat on now?
And I was a boy from school.
Well done, Josie.
It's my pleasure.
You've made them all ill.
I like seeing it spread.
It is fun to see a disease spread, isn't it? It is fun to see it in action. OK, I think we're close to an answer, Josie.
I think we need 1 in each column, so these 2 don't have.
Yeah, and I think we need 1 in each row.
5, 4, 3, 2.
It's infection time.
OK.
With the taste of your lips, I'm on a ride. You're toxic, I'm slipping away. Taste of a poison paradise. I'm addicted to you. Don't you know I'm toxic?
What a wonderful sight. We've done it.
We bloody did it.
What an awful lot.
Definitely get to Skybar.
What are you going to do?
Oh, I think I will spend the morning
At a steam fair.
at Steam Fair and the afternoon.
At the steam fair.
OK, so you have an answer.
And fun.
Because they look like a lot of fun, those people.
Those
to hang out
guys,
with. I think that's great. And I played some tough crowds, but I think that was particularly exceptionally tough.
So,
Right.
Dara, what was the minimum number you got?
I'm going for 6.
Right, Josie. Oh, beautiful 6 with the...
And you've got the underlining thing there
Yeah,
as well.
I like
Thank
that.
heavens for that.
Students,
There you go. What's interesting about some of them have concentrated on writing really good 6s. That's
Good.
very good. Well done. Yeah.
OK, but maybe you could do it in 5.
I don't think you can do it in 5.
No, 6 is the smallest number you need.
Yeah.
So, Dara, could you prove why you couldn't do it with 5?
No, my gut is the feeling that because it only transmits laterally, you have to have somebody in each row or column.
First, look at what happens when an infection spreads from 2 students to a third. The number of infected students increases by 1, but the perimeter of the infected area doesn't change. This helps you work out how many students you need to infect at the start. Because it doesn't change, the perimeter of your infected area at the start will be the perimeter of the whole infected class at the end. The perimeter of the whole class is 24. So your infected squares at the start must also have a combined perimeter of 24. That's 6 infected squares. 6 infected squares shared amongst a grid like this means only 1 square per horizontal or vertical line. Any of these arrangements will infect the entire class, but some do it more quickly than others.
I kind of used Briain on this, you know.
Did you?
Well, to a certain extent, you're kind of hammering it out.
Well, exactly. Well, I think this programme really does go to the brainy Briain because
Yeah,
I
it
think
does.
Alex and Josie I think Alex has got a PhD from this school.
Yeah,
you know?
I know,
It's really...
There's actually, at this point, we're having one of those faculty meetings where they're going, is it easier to fail them out or just to pass them through? Which way will clear Alex out of the system quicker?
I might be going over there with the students. That looks nice.
Wow, for Series 3, I want to just hit the panoramic scan across and Alex is be sitting there going, So you'll be.
Cool.
Well done, very, very good. Yes, at the end of that show, Briain wins, but thanks to our young bloods, the students on our maths panel who devised various different permutations of ways to kill people. Thanks to our question setter from the Quads of Oxford, Professor Marcus de Sotoy, but thanks mainly to our guest comedians, the winners, ladies and gentlemen, now fully qualified mathophiles, Alex and Josie. Thank you very much. And so complete are they as showbiz personnel, they do their own applause. We'll have more of these finished problems another time at School of Hard Sums. Thank you very much.
Now time for your homework. When's the next year when there won't be a Friday the 13th? If you'd like to check your answer or just cheat, go to the website joindave.co.uk.